Good morning once again, and thank you for staying tuned to Sunrise at Sea right here on CTV. Welcome back to the Twitter Jabs too, and we're back on the segment now. We continue the conversation today. We'll be talking about the food pilgrimage to Namugongo, and this is ahead of the Uganda Martyrs Day preparations. Well, Uganda Martyrs Day is celebrated every 3rd June of every year, and this day is to commemorate the 45 martyrs who lost their lives for their religious beliefs. Well, the Uganda Episcopal Conference selected Fort Portal Catholic Diocese to spearhead the preparations and celebrations for this year's Martyrs Day. Well, Fort Portal Catholic Diocese last led the celebrations 25 years ago, and that was in 1997. Well, the Bishop of the Fort Portal Catholic Diocese, that is Right Reverend, I beg your pardon, Robert Muhirwa, said that the diocese came up with a working budget of 1 billion Uganda shillings to aid and facilitate this year's preparations. Well, government went on to allocate this money to them and this budget to them, and they were able to, give them the money to spearhead the celebrations this year. Well, it is estimated to have about 20,000 pilgrims, not just only from within the country Uganda, but also across the border. Well, it is said that and stipulated that pilgrims that are coming from outside the country and from Kenya, Tanzania, all over East Africa and Africa at large are expected to have to take COVID-19 tests 48 hours prior to entering the country. Well, a number of pilgrims started their march on 1st May, and they started walking towards Namugongo. Well, I'll be connecting to Namugongo with Priva, and she'll be letting us know exactly what is happening on ground at Namugongo. Later on, I'll be joined by Father Titus Winyi from the Fort Portal Catholic Diocese, who I will be having a conversation with, and he'll be letting us know exactly how much has been done and what is being done in regard to the preparations of the Uganda Martyrs Day celebrations. Yes, and in case you are looking for context and you may be wondering why we celebrate this day every year, well, this day commemorates, like I said, the 45 martyrs, both Catholic and Anglican, who were killed on the orders of Kabaka Mwanga II, and he was the then king of Buganda between 1885 and 1887. Well, the martyrs were killed on orders by Kabaka Mwanga because at the time there was a three-way religious struggle for political influence at the Buganda Royal Court, and unfortunately 45 young men lost their lives because they chose to follow and believe in God, and they refused to denounce their religious beliefs. Well, in regard to the budget as well, an additional 600 million Uganda shillings was also allocated to Greater Ankole Diocese to facilitate the preparations for the Uganda Martyrs Day celebrations. Well, prior to the preparations, the Bishop of the Fort Portal Catholic Diocese did meet with the President, and that was in April of this year, and he did ask the President to kindly facilitate and give them, the budget to be able to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of in regard to the Uganda Martyrs, Day preparations. Well, they did meet the President at his home and at his country home, and the President later went on to pledge, and indeed he came through and gave them the money. And a number of well-wishers and corporate companies like MTN have also come on board and have donated. MTN actually donated about 35 million Uganda shillings towards the preparations. Well, we'll be connecting live to Namugongo, and Priva will be letting us know exactly what is happening. Good morning, Priva.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So what is the atmosphere like at Namugongo?
Well, right now we are live at Uganda Martyrs Namugongo. The atmosphere is pretty much intense. People are in final preparations as they gear up for the main event that is going to come up on Friday. That is 3rd June. There is already some pilgrims on ground. There is police as well to give them security. We also have vendors who are already like hawking their different stuff, but outside of the gate, but inside the premises, there are decorations. There's so much that is happening right now. And of course, this is in sharp contrast with what happened 2 years ago, because in 2020, we saw that the event was cancelled because of COVID-19 pandemic, and also it made it almost impossible to prepare for the event back in 2022, and the stringent measures on public gatherings was still in force. They were still very much they were still in force, and of course the event did not happen in 2020. But the Masaka diocese that was supposed to organize the event actually had the opportunity to organize last year in 2021 with only about 200 VIP guests, and actually the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, was the chief guest. But this particular year, the Fort Portal Diocese is going to be organizing, and we're going to be speaking to Father Titus shortly. But if you were to look around, I wish the camera could capture so much more. We left the pilgrims behind there, singing and rejoicing. They're not slowing down at all. I'll be talking to actually one of the pilgrims who is from the Rukunjiri diocese before I can speak with with Father Titus. I wish let me get because we're going to be talking to one of the pilgrims.
Yes.
Okay, fine. No,
Rukunjiri umuparishi yarwamagaye adonari ni Nyakibari.
Mukasimbura kuri Rukunjiri yari
kasimbura y'ebirabiro na bibiri kandi tukiraho nyekiro sha munana.
So that is one of the pilgrims who came from Rukunjiri. They set off on 22nd May, and they just arrived yesterday at around 2 a.m. I'm going to be speaking with Father Titus from the Fort Portal Diocese as we get to assess the whole situation as we prepare for the main event on 3rd June. Good morning, Father.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Fine. Thank you so much for honoring our invite.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. So after 25 years, not 25 years, since 1997.
Yes.
How does it feel being the organizing diocese for this year's Uganda Martyrs Day celebrations?
Of course, we feel very excited. After those years, we have not been leading, we have not admitted this year, this function of Uganda Martyrs. But this time, we feel so much excited.
You're very much excited.
And we're privileged to do so. Yes.
Okay. So with a few days just away from the main event, how are the preparations coming along?
Oh, it's very intense. It's very intense. Everybody's active, and people are coming in from Porto and are already here. I have spent some good time here. There are some committees. The construction has been here for 2 weeks. The catering team has been here for over a week. With the pilgrims committee, we have been here since 25th. We are registering. So everybody's busy. The fire, the liturgical committee has been in preparation since we were informed 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yes,
So let's talk about the foot pilgrims. Who are these people, and why do they trek for so many kilometers to get here?
Well, I'm good enough. I'm the one heading the pilgrims committee. So I'm in touch and coordinating the foot pilgrims.
Okay.
So people walk. So far we have the kids. People are coming from the western. People come from Congo, from Kasese, from Porto, Budubujio, all the way from Kamwenge. People are walking, trekking all the way from the other side up to this side. Okay. So far, we have been walking. Last night we arrived in Swanjeri, Minor Seminary, and we are 2005.
2005 pilgrims.
Pilgrims walking, wow. Elderly, young, mature. So they were all walking together. And why are they walking? Because we really treasure the martyrs. They went a hard way, following Christ in a hard way. So likewise, as they are followers of Christ and the friends of martyrs, we try to do the same. So people walk as a way of prayer, mortification, sacrificing, up to Namugongo.
So as those pilgrims are set foot in Namugongo, what are some of the arrangements and preparations that are there once they arrive here in Namugongo? Do they get any treatment? Do they get food? Are they given accommodation?
We have already arranged. Now they're in Swanjere. They'll be in Sega tomorrow morning. Then in the afternoon, we shall have walk from Sega to Nalia. We are preparing a band to have a grand entrance to Namugongo. So we have VIPs, and the bishop will be the main walker up to Namugongo. So they'll be here for 2 days resting from first, and then second to be in here resting a bit. And then when we're here, they'll be of course given some kind of minor treatments, like water, a few food. There's too many to.
Yeah. Yes. So since you've been on ground, can you assess the number of people that are here, the pilgrims that have arrived so far?
Well, I don't have the numbers on my fingertips, but and I have not been on a desk myself. I've been outside working with the pilgrims, working on food. But now people have come, but we expect many to come starting from today. Today 30th, and then tomorrow 31st. And then first, this thing will be full. The whole Namugongo venue will be full capacity. Yes.
So what message would you share with the pilgrims as they find their way to Namugongo right now?
Well, the message I would say that they shouldn't take it just as a hobby or just a luxury thing. It's a moment of prayer. A moment of prayer that as we walk, we don't waste our time. This is a time of mortifying our bodies, offering our prayers to God, and praying for this country, praying for our families, praying for the world where we are, the state we are in today. There is war, there is sickness, there is this pandemic. So we are all in chaos, kind of. So we need to pray to God as we walk along, keep praying, keep praising God, keeping mortifying your bodies, and making a prayer session as you walk.
Do we have children who trek, or is this strictly for adults? And if there are children who actually trek, what is the special treatment that is given to them?
Like in Fort Porto, what we have been encouraging the children, we advise people from 16 onwards, because this is not a short period of time. Walking for 9 days, and during the day you walk that long distance, food is provided only once or twice. The environment may be hard, the weather may be very difficult. So we encourage the 16 onwards to move, to walk. So, and people who are elderly, with diabetes, with the sickness or illness, or we also discourage them to move. But some people who we have one lady who's 80 years, and she's very strong and she's working very smart. So depending on your ability, on your strength, your structure, so you can walk. So the people are walking.
I've seen some ambulances around. Do they offer any sort of aid to the pilgrims, or?
For sure, they do. The ambulances walk. They are offering a lot of help. Because as they walk, people just don't first do exercise. They just walk from bed and start walking. Other people have other complications, their health complications. Others they have big-bodied. So others are suffering from diabetes, so high blood pressure. Because of not being used to walking for a long time, exercising their bodies, so they have, as they move, they develop something very difficult. Others have blisters in their feet. They have swollen legs. They have high blood pressure because of exercising themselves. So they have been falling, collapsing, and then they have been helped by ambulances.
Okay. So we've seen the resurgence of COVID-19 with a few COVID-19 reported cases. As the pilgrims were coming, how did you ensure to make sure like they don't spread, like they remain protected either way?
Well, we tried to talk really. We tried to talk, but you can't control 2,000 people. Given who they are, it's very hard to control. We have tried to advise them to keep SOPs, put on masks, but when they are walking, you can't put a mask because you are walking. And we have tried they are too much congested, but we have kept talking. But I can say it's God will provide, we will protect them. Yeah.
So we understand that pilgrims are supposed to take care of themselves, but if they meet some challenges here and there, maybe in terms of food, can the church intervene?
For sure. Along the way, as we have been coming, we have been providing food for them. In our parish, in our diocese, we told every station where they were stopping the community to provide food. So we found people who had cooked food, like porridge, and then in the morning, and then we had provided lunch, a lot of cassava, potatoes, matoke, those kind of things, and then even beans. So they have been eating. When we entered the Uganda side, they also did the same. Of course, they are not as, but we have supplying, because given the budget we have made with it, so it was also budgeted caring for the pilgrims along the way. So we have hired some cooks, some bought food. They have been provided food for along the way. So they are not really suffering.
So Father, you
have the companies which have very been generous to us, like Pepsi Cola. They have given us soda and water. There is a Britannica who gave us water, and other well-wishers. People bring in crates of water, cartons of water, crates of soda and cartons of water. And some people bought glucose along the way, giving to the pilgrims. So people have been very generous to them, yes.
So Father, what are your final remarks?
Well, I could say it's really a blessing to be here. And it's a blessing to have the Uganda martyrs. These people who died for their faith, following Christ, are giving us an example to follow. And for us, we believe that since they are in heaven, they are saints, they are able to intercede for us because they have already arrived. So they are in touch with Christ, and touch with up there. So when we pray to Christ and ask Him to intercede, so they do pray for, intercede for us. It's a blessing that we as Ugandans have this opportunity of having the martyrs who died for their faith, and we are lucky, and they are interceding for us in heaven. So we are a blessed country.
Thank you so much, Father. Okay, so we just spoke to Father Titus Winyi of Fort Portal Diocese. Right now, I'm going to take you along. I'm going to show you what's happening right now on ground. So many preparations are underway. There is pilgrims down there who are singing and dancing. I wish the camera could follow me. Yes, please follow me so that we can show our viewers what's happening right now. So, like I already mentioned, the Fort Portal Diocese is the one that is organizing this particular event this year. After so many years in waiting, since 1997, but like Father Titus said, so the final preparations are underway. Everyone is happy, everyone is excited. Everyone is excited, and the fears of COVID-19, actually, once you enter at the main gates, you are expected to have identification, of course, but also you're expected to have a mask to a certain degree. They want that as well. So whoever is planning to make their way to Namugongo, make sure you carry valid identification and a face mask. So this is what I was talking about. Right behind in my background are the pilgrims and the lake as well, which is one of the sacred places here at Uganda Martyrs Namugongo. Yes, and to the extreme there is the Catholic Martyrs Shrine, and also the Anglican Shrine is not too far away from here. It's just a few kilometers from here. So this is what is happening right now. You can see the decorations, you can see so many people right now. And pretty much this is what is happening right now. I hope you are able to take a look everywhere. Those are Abaramaji, Kakoma Parish, Sinjiro, Mbara Archdiocese. There is so much activity happening. Of course, the weather is not good right now. It's not the best right now, but you can still make your way to Namugongo and see what is being done as we prepare for 3rd June on Friday. I wish I can talk to someone. I don't know if we have an extra minute for that to happen. Okay, fine. Please, let me get back to my auntie. She said I remind her of her niece. So, ngambira mazire binga mukora magakuja kuhika.
Tumazire biro munana.
Ebiro munana.
Garukunjiri.
Ogu ngo mundu wago kubanza kuija kunia Namugongo.
Ogu no murundo gwa katano.
Mundu gwa katano. obwotarizire 12 na last year jehwire okahurota yonko muto kwija oshikize mirundi na kwija
kahurira obusasi bw'amaani nahurira ntabagye konka nashaba munonga ahabw'ekirwire kya covid omwisi owaturemiise ebyo byona konka nsiima mukama owagicendereze
nima abakigatwine amaani konka kobe notambura togizire nk'ebigyere bizimbire soma you can see they are in perfect condition. They're in perfect condition, very healthy.
Itwe Yesu nuwari kututegekerera itwe tutukayebasiza nk'abantu konka itwe twibire ntwija ntweshongora ntuhimbisa okihimbisa ohure ebigyere byona nibigenda omu mwanya nabo byakuba bifumukire konka tokashasha mbwenu
ohurohame hatereka mbaze ngambe na sebo tikumaya na basakukiza no group yanyu mwana murigire rukunjiri okay orireje sebo
ndereje nyabo
amano ngine
je nyishwire amazina tushabo mu Andrew mparishi rwa magaya rukushango muri rukunjiri tukwatanise n'aba mitoma ba mbangizi parishi niko tujira hamwe tutyo mu muhanda tuje turi abantu 28 mbwe twayikano yo mukasheshe
kambuze okumbene mwisha hine bitembe muchirize kuyaho imyenda yanyu
tubere ntwijaje hatine bitukirize kandi tubere taru kubasa no kuruha tutirwe n'enjure bene gwa side na side tu muhanda tuguma nshoronga atari munjura mbwe twayika hatine shonga yona
nigo muri rwo kubanza kwija
ogu no murundi gwa mushanju
tokabura kwija
tinkabura kwija kandi tinkamisinga muga buri mwaka ntekwa kwija kureka covid niyo yaturetire kizibu kandi kanyize ntimsemirundi ki12 mwatukuri nakize mwenda.
So he's basically saying this is his seventh time coming to Uganda Matters Namugongo. He said the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, affected him. He would be counting 9 years right now of, sorry, I beg your pardon, 9 times coming to Uganda Matters Namugongo. But he says he's in good spirits. He's in good shape. Like when it comes to his health, he's not feeling any type of sickness or anything like that. But everyone is excited. Everyone is excited for the celebrations that are going to be happening on Friday. So over to you, Sarah.
All right, Priva.
Sarah.
Yes, Priva, I can hear you.
Yes, please. Over to you.
Yes, Priva, thank you so much. Thank you for that thorough insight of what is happening at the Namugongo shrines. Although I do have a few questions, I did see a number of security details and sniffer dogs. I highly appreciate that the Uganda police is taking that very, very seriously, because that is very important. However, I wanted to ask, what about first aid facilities? Are there any in sight?
Yes, the ambulance is up there in the parking spot. And like Father Titus mentioned, he said if the pilgrims have some sort of illnesses, they are able to get some first aid from the relevant departments. But the ambulances are on board, so in case anyone is not feeling well, they are here. Even Red Cross is on ground. So much is going on.
All right. And what about the lavatories? That's hygiene and sanitation facilities. Are those there as well?
Yes, they have to be there. Of course, they're expecting a huge number of people.
Yes.
And they're going to, they're there. They're clean, there's water, everything is there. So sanitation is taken care of.
All right. Thank you so much, Priva. Thank you so much for that thorough insight of what's happening at Namugongo. Would highly appreciate, and thank you so much. And thank you also for interacting with some of the pilgrims that were walking over. And thank you so much for also highlighting that Father Titus did say that if you are 16 years old and above and are in good health, then it's, okay for you to have to walk over. If you could just look around, if you just by counting, how many pilgrims are estimated to be there today, right now on ground? If just a rough estimate,
Just looking at my surroundings, the rough estimate, maybe we could say close to 600 people, 1,000, between that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Priva.
Yes,
thank you so much. All right, and there you have it. The celebrations had been held scientifically for the past 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And just like how Priva had a conversation with some of the pilgrims who said that they wished that they had made the journeys, and for the past 2 years, but they were unable to because there was a ban on social gatherings. Well, it's estimated to be at about 20,000 pilgrims are expected to attend this year's 3rd June 2022 Uganda Martyrs Day celebrations. Well, the president of Uganda is expected to be the chief guest and chief celebrant, and the retired Kenyan Anglican bishop, that is Samson Maluda, will be the main celebrant this year. Well, that is all we had for you on the Twitter jabs, but keep watching Sunrise at Sea because coming up is our views, and you can connect with us across all social media platforms. Today we're going to be discussing humility. Is there ever such a thing as humility being a bad thing? Well, we'll be discussing, the ladies and I will be discussing this conversation. And like I said, you can connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and let us know your thoughts on this conversation. This is Sunrise at Sea. Don't blink.